In the world where everyone was afraid, the time of social distancing, one man was isolating himself for the good of us all. He was meditating. He felt like he has consumed everything there is on TV.
I'm so bored.
His daughter tried to encourage him to be creative. Then, all of a sudden, an idea pops into his head.
Okay, so I really did use this oval shape fire starter bricks to make the Sentinel. I cut the general shape out of it, just out of the board one Sunday, like 2 weeks ago, and I start to build upon it with mainly 3 different types of cardboard. I did use the cardboard for eggs initially for the eyes because I didn't plan to make the electronics in this piece at the beginning. I found a very cheap way to make the eyes, but we're gonna talk about it later. So the electronic piece is optional if you so desired. I used the pasta or cornflake cardboard to create this crown. I cut different sizes and shapes, rectangular shapes, to give the structure, to give those details, to give more interest, to give more 3D look to it. I, for example, made this diamond shape, or kite shape, more like kite shape design on it. I know this Sentinel design, the crown on the head can depends on the various artists. I cut some other small pieces of cardboard to give a little bit more structure and detail to it, to give it a little bit more 3-dimensional interest. I use another original packages to cut the round shapes to fit the head, because I've noticed that the head was a little bit too flat. The original Sentinels had really the head was a little bit longer on them. I fit them in. I realized that it was too round on top, too egg-like, so I cut it to the design that I imagine him to be best, and I mirror the shape on the other piece of cardboard. Hot glue in place. From the leftovers, I used this kind of round shape on the front with simply cutting off the wedge, the small triangle shape, to fit him in. Super glue did a great job for that as well. As you can see, I do the same on the other side. From the cardboard from the eggs, I use this round part to fill in the gap, to give him also this feeling of levels and extra details. And what I really like with the egg type of cardboard was that not only that it's round, but it's also, when you get painted, it get this kind of a structure on it, like a material or some kind of just interesting pattern. I cut some more shapes, like parallelogram shape plates on top of it, two of them. At this point I needed to lose the jaw because it was getting in the way. I needed it more for the idea of the whole proportion of the whole head. I needed some time to figure out how to close the head at the end. The egg cardboard came in use again. I was trying to find a piece that I could use from the leftovers, but I couldn't, so I have to cut the new one. It's free, so no problem with that. You just have to figure out, it's a lot of cutting. On the video it looks like first try I did it, but it was a lot of cutting and trying, and sometimes I cut too much, so I have to cut out the new piece. And because I wasn't really interested, I didn't like it to be closed the same as on the front, I gave him this extra kind of like a plain flaps for the on the wings they would have, that helps them with the flight. I do believe that it gave him a little bit more character and shape to the head. On his neck I glue also pieces of cardboard I use from an egg, because I figure out that they have this kind of a bone shape but still metallic and futuristic robotic feel to it. And in the middle, on the very top, I cut out rectangle, fit it exactly to the shape, and then for this part I was trying to go in the style of a hood from a sport car. So I cut off the different kind of geometric shapes off of it, and I was planning to put some other cardboard under it. Later you will see I decided to use a material that gave this kind of carbon fiber feeling. With the jaw I wasn't very satisfied, it seems to be too bulky, so I cut it and glue it to reduce the size a little bit. It also turned out to be a great way to give additional elements to the whole jaw. I use an old electric parts, like from the contacts to the small screws in there to place the jaw. So now the jaw is not only movable, but also I can take it out for some photos. The whole project was like over 2 weeks. It's a hobby, so you cannot really put timer on a hobby. Yeah, it's not a job. So as much work you're gonna put into it, you will gonna enjoy it even more. As much detail you're gonna implement, it's gonna come back to you as a benefit. I think we're gonna finish here today. Next video, part 2, is coming tomorrow with the painting of the whole head and some additional changes, and the third will be day after with all the electronic pieces, the cables, the wirings, and all of the good stuff. I don't want to keep those videos too long. Check the next video if it appears on the screen. If not, then probably you'll have to subscribe and just wait till tomorrow. Thanks guys.